Thank you. A good professor of mine, Collins Bedouajiman, I'm sure you know him, at the Department of Psychology at the University of Ghana, said to me, one of the periods in the lecture, that conflict of interest is in three forms. It could be real, it could be apparent, it could even be perceived. Perceived. So sometimes in applying discretion, you can avoid all these three instances of conflict of interest. For example, on that thought, could this EC director of IT have done anything different?
Well, thank you. I thought you were going to give me an opportunity to also state my views on the registration
yes,
process.
I want us to clear that.
I can get into that. So yes, we were told about the network issues, power outages, registration of minors, illegally busing of people to vote, registration centers, and all that. I mean, these are challenges that I've heard both the NDC and the MPP all articulate. And I think that to the extent that both parties, the two main parties, are at idem, you know, on the challenges, I think a quick IPAC meeting can be summoned to articulate them and to discuss them with a view to ensuring that they don't recur. But I think generally what we are told is that some of or many of these challenges have been surmounted, and I want to believe that those immigration officers who are illegally preventing people from getting to various registration centers to go register would also be called to order once the problem has been raised here. But to the ECIT director, I think that if he was really seen at the party rallies, then or an event that was attended by Dr. Baumia as part of his campaign rally, I think it was an indiscretion on his part. You know, Dr. Kojo Afarijan was appointed from the University of Ghana. He was a lecturer. He was appointed as the chair of the Electoral Commission, and we didn't hear that he attended any event being organized by any political party. Over the week, the week that has just ended, I visited Mrs. G. Mensah to have some discussions with him about some of the challenges that were going on with the registration process. And he's been a long boss, long-standing boss who trained me at the IE. And so from time to time,
that's the easy boss, G. Mensah.
Yes, I want to touch base with her. And one of the things that I know I put to her that, I saw some picture going around with you wearing a certain MPP attire with inscription MPP in it. And she laughed. I said, Ransford, you know, I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. They said, go look at the picture very well. Now, if you study the picture, you see more of a Shelley Ayokoboche, image than Jim Mensah. And so she just said, Ransford, but you've known me. You worked with me for 14 years. You know, I would never do that. And for me, that assured me that, look, regardless of people's perception about her, she knows what she's doing. But for you to have a EC director of IT who came under a barrage, whose appointment received a barrage of criticism, that he was a partisan person. As I sit here, somebody has chronicled all the positions, MPP positions that he was occupying. I don't care about that. You see, it's only a few of us who wouldn't want to do partisan politics. But generally, people are allowed to do partisan politics. And if you are a partisan person and you are appointed to a certain position of trust, you are expected to mount a certain high ground of independence and neutrality, so that you can be able to do your work, do so, and do it well. I mean, given that people had already criticized you and your appointment as being partisan, I was thinking that he could have simply excused himself, from that event, in order not to create the perception or deepen the perception in the minds of the people that you were appointed to go do the bidding of the MPP. So I think that it was a serious indiscretion on his part. Any of us can be at such event because we don't occupy the kind of position that he is occupying. And so he should have been smart and a little bit intelligent. So my point is that you can be a partisan sycophant, but do so with some intelligence so that you can guarantee your own security of tenure after your regime, after the regime that appointed you. Let me repeat. You can be a partisan sycophant, but do so with some intelligence so that you can guarantee your own security of tenure tomorrow when the party that appointed you into that position is not in power. This is something, this is a word to him. And I want to believe that it goes to all other people who are perceived to be partisan working, on the EC. I believe in building institutions. I believe in strengthening institutions. I do not think that the way to go would be that every now and then when regime changes, we change leaders, we change people, appointees and all that. But I will support any attempt at desilting some of these key institutions and ridding them of people who are overly partisan and wouldn't want to assert any level of neutrality and impartiality in their work. You see, when we say we talk about the independence of the Electoral Commission, we are not saying that only laws must exist to make them independent. They must also be perceived to be independent. And so, if you do things that undermine the perception of independence that we have to have in you, then you are generally undermine the credibility of the institution. And I want to hope and believe that what Kofi Adam has said here will be carried through. The NDC as a party must not just talk about this. We shouldn't just bring it to the fore. I want you to formally petition the chair of the Electoral Commission about this, that this is a serious show of indiscretion, and it weakens the perception that we all have, perception of independence that we are all supposed to, have about the Electoral Commission. It was a serious indiscretion. The gentleman should have been a bit intelligent, about what he did. And let me repeat the caution again, that anyone appointed to the position of arbiter, anyone appointed to the Electoral Commission, I do not care, because generally we are divided on partisan grounds. I do not care whether you are an NDC or MPP. You can be a partisan bootlicker and a partisan sycophant, but do so with some intelligence so that you can guarantee your own stability of tenure, your own security of tenure, should the regime that appointed you get out of power.
Very important point today. 24 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Professor Gyampo, ending on this one, because it leads up to that clarion call for things to improve in the coming days. It's a 21-day exercise. Today is day 5. Yes, day 5 of this 21-day exercise. I know right after here you're going back to your constituency to go and monitor the process as well. And it's important. I'll give you the last word in a minute.
Thank you. You see, the other point of importance is the offline registration and integration of data. Last year, a similar thing occurred where offline registration happened. And during the integration of the data, some persons were moved to polling stations outside of their electoral areas. The last year registration was for purposes of what? District level elections. And district level elections are conducted in electoral area basis. So if I put myself up to register in order to vote in a particular electoral area, and I'm moved outside of that electoral area, it denied me the opportunity to vote or to vote for the rightful persons. So in this whole exercise of offline, the EC itself must be very careful during the period of what? Integrating the data.
Right.
Some data was completely lost. Some were moved outside of that constituency they registered to another constituency. All these must be watched. But I want to assure the EC that we have the full register as at end 2023, after the last year limited registration. Our agents on daily basis for all the centers are submitting the details of the registration, and that no data will be accepted if it is not part of what was approved daily by our agents in all these centers. So if anybody has any kit anywhere doing anything other than the certified, the gazetted centers that we know, that data would not find itself into the system. And I want to tell the Electoral Commission, they shouldn't even try in order to turn this country upside down. They shouldn't even try.
Well, thank you very much. And
Alfred, let me also state something.
Yeah,
I don't think that the Electoral Commission has any power to even try to turn this country into anything. I think that the peaceful nature of the 2024 general election rests on the shoulder of all the political actors, from MPP, NDC, CPP, PNC, all the various political actors. And so we would want to state that every political party should ensure that they are having their agents there. They should also ensure that the registration processes is free and fair, that they are having people that are 18 years old going to be registered into the voters registration exercise. If you are 15, if you are 13, if you are 14, if you are 16, if you are 17, what is your beef in wanting to come and make a decision for the larger part of the Ghanaian people? You are young, so wait till you are 18. And so I don't think that we should state that the EC has no right in wanting to turn this country upside down. We are going to campaign heavily on the policies. As I've said, for us as a new patriotic party, our flag bearer is going to campaign 5 times harder than the NDC. In fact,
let me just
let's win the election based on policies.
Thank you.
And stop the issuance of threats.
Okay. What you are saying there are these hold on. These persons, all of these people, you see there, they say they are 18, right? Even though the pictures may not tell the ages of these people, but this is somewhere in the northern region. Right, and our reporter Christopher Marco got these pictures. All these people there were in the queue to register.
They have dates of birth, right? This is the reason.
Guess what? Here's what happened. From the account of our reporter, these people came with their parents, and their parents guaranteed for them that they are 18. And so the electoral officers there actually went ahead to register them. This boy. This.
Well, Alfred, in such situation, the electoral officer, if you feel that the person, you can actually challenge yourself. Agents can challenge. Any other person can challenge. Mm-hmm. If the person is a pupil or a student, there will surely be date of birth in the register, the school register. Mm-hmm. That can serve as evidence for the district registration review committee hearings. And you cannot just use size to tell, because we all know that size is hereditary. Sometimes is based on nutrition. There's nutritional challenges, there's genetic challenges in terms of size. I remember one footballer called Audu Isaka. He used to play so well at the junior level. Then they took him to one of the clubs in France, and they thought that maybe they could place him on diet to build some this, but try as they did, it wasn't emerging. But so you see such a person, and when they tell you the age, you will be doubting it. So it's sometimes just an image alone cannot be enough evidence, especially when the parents are saying that this is my child. So this is
the ultimate responsibility will not lie on the parent to prove if there is a challenge that is raised about this picture of this.
Actually, the normal thing is that when you challenge, you must first make your case. that I know this person, I know he's in this school and that. So the investigations will be, that is why the police commander for the district or his representative is part of the district registration review committee.
Okay.
The chief or his representative is part. The Ghana Education Service, the district or municipal director or the representative, because these are key sources where you can get this information other than the person who has a Ghana card or a birth certificate. Or so these persons are part of the district registration review committee to help the process.
Okay. Which matter brings up another. Yes.
I've seen something that is also worth commenting on. I think this particular registration exercise has been devoid of much tension. We've seen registration exercises that have scared us, as a nation. We've seen registration exercises that have made us wonder that if this is what is happening at just registration, then what will happen, in the main election? So, regardless or apart from, despite the challenges that have been seen, which the EC, I'm told, is working on, the whole process has not been that much tensed, and it may well be, it may well be that maybe we are growing democratically. It may well be that the issues
the challenge forms as well. Now, if you have an issue,
you just file the challenge. So maybe we are growing democratically, or the issues are minor, or maybe one party knows that it has lost the elections already,
that
or
the NDC.
The other party also knows that it has won already. But my point is that if you know that you've lost it already, please, it is not over until until it's over. So work hard. If you know that you've also won already, there can be no complacency in this game. We want competitive elections so that we, the writers, we the scholars, we can write on. We don't want an election where somebody would win it so hands down or somebody will lose it. No, it should be competitive. So if a party is not so much interested in this process simply because it thinks it has lost it already, I'm saying that it is not over until it is over. If a party believes that it has won already, I am warning that there can be no complacency in this particular game. Let's all be serious, but let us try as much as possible to tone down the issues that will bring about tension, because gradually I believe that even though some people believe that argue that there are democratic reversals, I to some extent believe that we are also growing democratically, especially if you see the way and manner we are handling some of these matters.
Thank you very much, Professor Prof Gyampo. You're also live here on Key Point, also live on 3FM 92.7, TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com, and a number of radio stations across the country.